Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to Utility Sports. And in today's video, we're taking a look at week 9 of the college football season and giving our pick'em and predictions for this week. This is a common series we've been doing now on the channel for college football. We also do it for the NFL, so make sure you go check that out. And also, if you want to be entered for a jersey giveaway, it is a Justin Fields Chicago Bears jersey. All you have to do is be subscribed to the channel, leave a like, and also leave a comment on today's video. It can be something about the actual video or something as simple as the words jersey giveaway. That's all you have to do to be entered, and a real NFL jersey could be yours for free. Now, jumping into it, Austin, here we have a phenomenal matchup to start out this video with an interstate matchup as well. The Michigan Wolverines, led by Harbaugh, going into Michigan State, who has had a phenomenal surprise season. Both teams sit at 7-0. And this could have real college football playoff implications too, especially if two of the top teams in the top 5 end up having slip-up games later on in the season. Michigan State, led by the running back Kenneth Walker, they're one of the Heisman favorites at this point. Who do you see walking away with this game? 63% of the nation so far opting for the Wolverines.
And it's really hard in this matchup not to take the home team because it's just that close. I am, however, going to opt with the Michigan Wolverines in this game on the road. Reason being, if you look at these two defenses, they are completely different. Michigan State has allowed 406 yards per game, and Michigan has only allowed 299. So I opt to go with Michigan because of their defense. They are slightly better. They have a great 1-2 punch at running back. This is a phenomenal running back matchup. You had alluded to Walker earlier. I think this is going to be a very, very tough game for people to pick, and this is going to be the hardest one of the weekend to pick, but I'm going with the Michigan Wolverines in this one.
If the plus minus over under was set at 3.5, Austin, in favor of Michigan, are you hitting the over there or the under?
I'm hitting the under. This is going to be a really, really tight game, and I think that's why you have to be very, very cautious on this one. I don't think it's going to be a touchdown game even. It's that close.
Moving forward, we see a Big 12 matchup here. The Texas Longhorns against the Baylor Bears, another interstate matchup here as well, with Baylor, of course, being probably the favorite in this game. They're 16th ranked in the nation, 6-1 currently at this point. Texas, formerly ranked, has had a little bit of a dry spell as of late, falls out of the top 25, and only 21% of the nation is going with them. Here, this game in Baylor, are you going with the Bears in this one?
I am going with the Bears in this one. They've looked really impressive so far this season. The Longhorns have been up and down all year long, and it's really hard to know, if they're going to play with consistency in this game. I know what Baylor is going to bring to the table on a week-to-week basis. The same can't be said, unfortunately, for Texas in this game. Once again, I am going to be taking the Baylor Bears in this one. I agree with 79% of people picking.
Here, Austin has the Baylor Bears taking one over the Texas Longhorns, which brings us into a Big Ten matchup here. We have the Iowa Hawkeyes, who did drop a game in their most recently played one to an unranked opponent, fell to 6-1, currently 9th in the nation, whereas we have the Wisconsin Badgers here at 4-3. They just haven't had the season that we're usually used to seeing from Wisconsin. And Iowa, on the other hand, has been playing great football this season. Do you see Iowa as the lead dog in this game, and how close do you think this one comes down to?
I think Iowa definitely wins this game. I thought about Wisconsin potentially. They just have not looked very good this year. Like you had alluded to, they have been extremely disappointing so far this season. One of the favorites to win the Big Ten potentially. However, I'm going to go with Iowa in this game. I think this could be a couple score deficit for Wisconsin heading into that fourth quarter.
Here he has the Iowa Hawkeyes beating the Wisconsin Badgers on the road, which brings us now into an SEC matchup. Another really good game here. Florida Gators, kind of like the Texas Longhorns we talked about earlier. Formerly ranked team, were in the top 20 at one point of the AP top 25. Now find themselves on the outside looking in. Only 5% of America is going with them at home against the Georgia Bulldogs, who I believe you consider to be the best team in the nation with how they've performed this year. They're 7-0 coming in to Florida. Does Georgia walk away with this one easily?
I think Georgia is actually going to be surprised how good of a fight Florida can put up. We saw Florida in that game against Alabama. They were very, very competitive for the most part in that game. I think they're definitely going to hang around. However, Georgia will pull away. I do have the Bulldogs. I'm actually pretty shocked that the number is even 5% for the Gators. I thought that number would be even a little lower.
Austin, a big believer in this Georgia Bulldogs program. Austin, what is the biggest strength to Georgia this season?
Oh, it's been their defense. Their defense is historically great. You put them up against some of the all-time great defenses in college football, and they are right there with it. Under 10 points per game given up by this Georgia Bulldog defense. There's so much to love about this team, and they can run the ball effectively. And they also have two competent quarterbacks as well. We've seen Stetson Bennett play in those games when JT Daniels was hurt. This is a very dangerous team through and through, and especially in that run game with two stud running backs.
No surprise there, Georgia having some elite running back play and a ton of great defensive players as well. On all three levels, they have guys who can get taken in the first round, guys like Adam Anderson, N'Kobe Dean, also Darian Kendrick. They've got so much talent on that defense. Moving into our next matchup here now, we have the Ole Miss Rebels going up against the Auburn Tigers in what's going to really be a great matchup, in my opinion. Ole Miss been playing great football. Matt Corral has been really taking care of the rock, only one interception this season. And they're going up against the 18th ranked Auburn Tigers, who at 5-2 still make their way into the top 25 despite two losses. Are you opting with Ole Miss here like 71% of voters?
I'm a big believer in this Ole Miss team. Lane Kiffin has done a great job, not only in terms of recruiting, but also helping get Matt Corral settled in. Last year, he was a little turnover prone, but this year, he looks like arguably the best college quarterback so far this season. So I'm going to take Ole Miss in this game. Auburn is a good team. However, Ole Miss is looking like they're on a roll. Their only hiccup so far that we've seen was them against Alabama. They definitely were sputtering in that game. However, I am taking Ole Miss.
I think this will be a really good one to watch, one of the best this week. Moving into our next matchup, we have the Kentucky Wildcats, who are ranked 12th. They've been as high as 11th in the AP Top 25, find themselves at 12 now, going up against the Mississippi State Bulldogs, who do have some real NFL talent on that roster currently. Some guys like Charles Cross, who could maybe see go in the first round even. However, the Kentucky Wildcats right now look like the better team, look like the better program as of very late. Do you have Kentucky winning this one easily?
Kentucky's looked phenomenal all year long. I am going to take Kentucky in this game. However, let's not sleep on Mississippi State in this one. I think it's going to be a closer game. It's tough to go into Mississippi State with that harsh environment and really get your play calls. I do like Kentucky still on the road. I think they're just more talented, unfortunately, for Mississippi State. Mike Leach really gives them a chance every single week with his passing offense, his air raid attack, but I am taking Kentucky here.
You heard it here. Mississippi State going to battle, keep it close with Kentucky. However, Austin does have the Wildcats edging out Mississippi State in this one. Moving into our next matchup here, we have the Houston Cougars at 6-1 facing the SMU Mustangs 7-0. This is going to be a really good matchup in my estimation as well. 74% of voters going with SMU, the higher ranked program here at 19th. Do you believe in Houston? Can they get the job done here at home?
I was really trying to get there on Houston. However, SMU's offense has just been too prolific so far this season in terms of total yards per game. They have about 525 of total offense. Houston sitting around 360. So I am going to take SMU for that reason. Their offense has been absolutely running through the competition. I do like them in this game.
Austin opts for SMU, even on the road here. Is going to be a really great matchup. And I think one that's going to really help SMU in the AP Top 25 going into next week if they get the job done. Another Top 25 matchup here. We have the Penn State Nittany Lions, who have dropped two of their last three games, going into Ohio State against the Buckeyes, who have gotten on the right track after a very early loss this season to the Oregon Ducks. CJ Stroud and the Ohio State Buckeyes sit at 6-1, Austin. At home, they're in Ohio. Do you see them getting the job done here against Penn State?
This is an interesting matchup. I really don't want to count out Penn State in this game. Feels like a little bit of a trap game for Ohio State. Penn State dropped a brutal one. Now they fall all the way down to 20. This is a team that's very well could be in that top 10. However, they just have they've had their struggles in this season. I am going to take Ohio State. They've been absolutely dominating their competition the last 5 weeks. They have been so good. It's hard to bet against Ohio State in this one. There's too much talent on both sides of the ball. CJ Stroud is looking more and more comfortable in this offense. I do like Ohio State.
For me, Ohio State feels very properly ranked, 5th in the nation. I think a lot of our viewers agree with that as well, Austin. Talking a little bit more about Ohio State, how essential is it for them to end the season super strongly, especially with the chance that Alabama could maybe drop another game this year to Georgia in the SEC championship game? Is that the pathway for Ohio State to get back into the top four for the college football playoffs?
They absolutely need Alabama to face Georgia in that SEC title game in order to really find out if they can make it, because Ohio State alone in their games are not really going to be able to surpass Alabama as it currently sits. Somebody's got to lose, and it's got to be Alabama, or Cincinnati's another team that very well could lose a game, and then Ohio State jumps into their spot.
If you had to bet here now, and it's a plus 150 bet, so a $100 bet nets you an extra 150, do you place the bet on Ohio State making the college football playoffs, Austin?
I actually do. I do, because I like them in the Big Ten. I think they're going to win the Big Ten championship. That alone really puts them in consideration to be in that college football playoff, just considering how strong that Big Ten has been so far this year. You might see the matchup against Michigan, Michigan State, Iowa. It's going to be one of those teams that they'll have to match up against. And I think Ohio State definitely can do it.
Likewise, I would have also placed that bet just based off the pathway for them to get in. I think it's more likely to see them than a team like Cincinnati, assuming they possibly could drop one, or Alabama. They have a tough road ahead of them as well. We'll see if Ohio State can get into that top four. Moving into our second to last game here, we have the Virginia Cavaliers going up against the BYU Cougars. BYU, of course, lost Zach Wilson from last year. They've been a little up and down this year, find themselves 25th in the AP Top 25 currently. This Virginia Cavaliers team, I don't think they get a lot of spotlight, especially for the football program there. Do you think Virginia could go into BYU and win this one?
It's tough to go into BYU. Tough environment to go into. Virginia, this is one of the better teams that they've had over the last couple of seasons. However, I do still like BYU in this game. Really, it's going to be emphasizing throwing the football, really exposing these Virginia corners. I'm going BYU.
Tough matchup here for the Cavaliers, especially on the road. BYU probably gets it done here. 75% of America agrees with you on that one. Bringing us into our last game of the week. Remember, if you guys did enjoy today's video, leave a like. And we've got the Fresno State Bulldogs going up against the San Diego State Aztecs. The 7-0 Aztecs have really surprised some people this year, found themselves into the top 25. Now, 85% of America is opting for them at home. Do you agree with that consensus pick there, Austin?
I am going to take the Aztecs in this game. Reason being, they're so tough this year. Their offense looks really, really good. They've been super consistent so far this year. Once again, this feels like a little bit of a game where they actually could drop it. Fresno State is no slouch. They are a very, very good football program, especially this year. But I am taking San Diego State in this one.
You heard it here with Austin's picks. Austin, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit here. Which one of these 10 games are you most excited to see this weekend?
I think the clear and obvious answer to that is the Michigan State game, the one we had started our Pickem with, just because it's an interstate matchup. A lot of people are going to be at that game. It's going to be a packed house there at Michigan State. And I'm super excited because we're going to see some phenomenal running back play from both sides. Best game of the weekend.
This game could potentially hoist Kenneth Walker up into that Heisman favorite position if he has a big game in a big win against Michigan. Maybe that's enough to get him some love from the voters. Hopefully you guys did enjoy today's video breaking down week 9 of the college football season. Be subscribed so you don't miss out on more of our college football content, also NFL draft coverage. Everything football that you need is here on Utility Sports. So hopefully you guys did enjoy again. Leave a like if you did, and we'll catch you in the very next Utility Sports video.